Yeah, g'day, Bush Camping Tools here. The example knife is from Extrema Ratio. This is a knife made from a tool steel. You will know it as M2. This version is called S600 and it's made by Böhler. S600, high tungsten, high vanadium, high molybdenum steel. And M2, of course, has been around for a long time as a high-speed tool steel. S600 has also been around for quite a while. It's the proprietary one from Böhler. Anyway, basically, this steel, we've got about 0.9% carbon in it, and because we've got such high tungsten and high molybdenum and vanadium, that yields a lot of carbides, that sort of stuff like that. But essentially this steel is not known as a knife steel, okay? This steel is known as a steel which has had a long-standing reputation in the machining world for making tools, to be able to machine out parts of, you know, hard metals, very hard metals, etc., high-speed tooling. However, how would it go for knives? Well, Extrema has for a little while been making several of their lines in S600, and this is just another one of them, the new ONTOS 2. Yeah, so there it is there. And basically what I wanted to know was, like, this knife, it's hardened to Rockwell of HRC 64, and that's really high as far as Rockwell goes. Just going to give you a look at the bush around here where we do lots of our testing here. And anyway, okay, it's not just snakes and stuff like that you have to be worried about in the Aussie bush. It's also mosquitoes. There's an absolute million of them here. Yeah, unbelievable. Just getting swarmed by them out here. It's been raining for weeks, months actually, and yeah, what to expect but bazillions of mosquitoes out here. Just bazillions. You can take something like this. These are good old Aussie mosquito coils. You can get them all around the world, mosquito coils, of course, but they only do so much. You've got to have them smoking away like this. You can put on insecticide and all that kind of stuff, but mosquitoes, yeah, the bane of, you know, humankind's existence in the great outdoors. Yeah, without them, you're going to get eaten alive. You know, unless you're wearing long sleeves. It's too hot to be wearing long sleeves here. They carry disease. You just don't want to get bitten, at least not too much anyway. Yeah. Okay, I haven't sharpened this S600 knife in over 3 weeks now. So this is a, you know, palm bract. Yeah, it's green. They're really fibrous. I'm not going to chop it. I'm going to cut it. Let's see how well it can cut into it. I know it will chop it. Let's try down here firstly. They're very... So it's cutting into it quite nicely. Of course, this stuff is really slippery, and there's a good chance that when you do cut it, knife's gonna slip. So let's try what really would be intended here, and that is a machete. Oops, there you go. So let's try up here again. Just up here. It's not a machete, but illustrates it's really sharp. It's a clean cut. Look at that there. Right, that is a clean cut. It's not good enough just to have a high Rockwell on a steel that the knife is going to perform, because it's such high hardness. One might think that the edge is brittle, it might chip, especially when it comes around for outdoor knives. And that's what I wanted to check. Is this going to chip or it's not going to chip? So any chipping is going to be dependent upon what kind of heat treatment this alloy has undergone in order to prevent that. And the good thing about S600 or M2 really, it still is being currently investigated in a metallurgical sense for looking at optimal heat treatment and tempering regimes in order to maximize the best possible microstructure of that steel. Good evening, Bush Camping Tools here. We've been out now for 2 weeks around the globe, testing out this S600 ONTOS 2 by Extrema Ratio. Here it is here. And here we are, we're out and about in my bit of jungle. So there you go. So anyway, this is just basically an introduction. So stick around now and have a look at some of those tests. Right. And just in case you're thinking about dropping your guard out here, you see this harmless little plant here. It's covered in spines, right? This thing here, okay? This is actually the beginnings of a giant liana. These are the things that grow up into the trees, the quintessential jungle plant. Let's have a closer look at some of those spines. And you don't want to get stabbed by these. Look at them there. They're quite vicious, needle-like. They begin to become hooked as the plant gets older. That is to hook faces downwards to enable this thing to climb into the trees. And these things will really give you a painful infection if you get zapped by them. Yeah. Pick up the knife. Don't want to leave that lying around. Let's get moving. ready to go. What I don't want to do is jam the knife in there. That's it. That's it. All right, the place is crawling with mosquitoes and bugs, as you can imagine. Get a load of where we are. It's a bit of ONTOS 2 by Extrema Ratio, the S600 model. Check it out. Found some edible fruit here. Here we go. These are edible figs. Yeah, let's check them out. The tree is ginormous. It's hard to see, but it's that trunk in there. Let me see if I can put my shadow on it. No. Oh no, sorry, here we go. Can't even see for looking. It's this big tree here with the white spots on it. That's kind of a lichen. It's a giant ficus. It's absolutely huge. Probably goes about 30 meters up there. Time to move on. Definitely, anyway, these are the seeds on there. There's another one over here. All the fruits, they're edible. But let's pick up the knife first before we lose that. We don't want to lose our knife out here, that's for sure. Real feed up here, you can see them all over there and stuff. They're all over the ground here. I'm going to try some of them in a second. Some feel quite ripe, but this is how they are when they're ripe. They're nice and yellow. You can't really climb the tree to get them because the tree's ginormous. You know, there's no branches to get up on there to climb, so you have to rely on the fact that you can get them you know, when they fall down. All right, let's get back to camp. We've also got to be careful of other things, but in case you didn't see that, whoop, no, there you go, that's better, bit better. Yeah, got to be careful of snakes out here because, as I said, where there's frogs, there's snakes. Yep. Palm brack's good for everything. Let's see how sharp this thing is. These are really fibrous. Let's see how sharp this is after 2 solid weeks of using this knife. Let's see if we can just simply cut through this. Let's get a good grip here because the ground, or good stance, the ground is really wet and muddy and slippery as anything. Let's check it out. Yep, no problems there. And I don't want to get lost out here. Termite's nest. Bush Camping Tools here. Thanks for watching. Right, let's try some of these figs. Some of these are ripe, they're soft. Let's give it a go. They're okay. They're not as good as the ones in the shop, but you could certainly survive off them. Yep. All right. Whoa, gotta be careful. Hey, bush camping tools here. Well, you know, decided to do eaten alive by fucking mosquitoes here. And it's a damn mosquito infested environment. We've got some outtakes here. We've got the mosquito coils burning because I've not come down here without the mosquito coils, but it is absolutely thriving with mosquitoes down here in the bush. Absolutely thriving, and we got to get out of here now.